How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Somebody just called to complain that you were cleaning up the yard, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay.
On a quiet Saturday morning in the small town of Brookfield, the sound of a lawn mow echoed through the street. Most houses looked neat and well cared for except one. At the end of the block stood an old house surrounded by tall weeds, thorny bushes, and grass that had grown out of control. The yard looked abandoned. A man named Daniel Harris, a kind but quiet neighbor, was pushing a mower through the thick weeds. Sweat ran down his face as branches scratched his arms. Still, he kept going. Daniel wasn't being paid. The house belonged to Mr. Robert Lewis, an elderly widower who had recently suffered a stroke. He could barely walk, let alone clean his yard. Daniel had noticed the condition getting worse each week and knew the city might issue fines or worse. Suddenly, a police siren broke the silence. Daniel froze. A patrol car stopped in front of the house. A police officer stepped out, hand resting near his belt. "Sir," the officer said firmly, "step away from the equipment." Daniel slowly turned off the mower, his heart pounding. Neighbors began peeking through windows. "We received a report of suspicious activity," the officer continued. "This property doesn't belong to you." "What are you doing here?" Daniel swallowed hard. "I'm just helping my neighbor, officer. He's sick and can't take care of the yard." The officer frowned. "Do you have permission?" Before Daniel could answer, the front door of the house creaked open. Everyone turned. Mr. Lewis appeared, leaning heavily on a walker. His hands shook, but his eyes were clear. "Officer," he said weakly, "I asked him to help me." The officer's posture softened immediately. Mr. Lewis took a deep breath. "I used to be independent. I hate asking for help. But this young man showed up every morning without being asked. He didn't want money, he just didn't want me to lose my home." Silence fell over the street. The officer looked at Daniel, then back at Mr. Lewis. "Sir, I'm sorry for the misunderstanding." Daniel let out the breath he had been holding. "I didn't mean to cause trouble," Daniel said quietly. The officer nodded. You did the right thing." He turned to leave, then paused. "Not everyone would do what you did." As the police car drove away, neighbors stepped outside. One brought water, another offered to help trim the bushes. Someone else volunteered to fix the broken fence. By the afternoon, the yard was unrecognizable clean, safe, and full of life again. Mr. Lewis wiped his eyes. "I thought the world had forgotten me," he whispered. Daniel smiled. "It hasn't. Sometimes, kindness looks suspicious until the truth steps into the light."